The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom throughout the four corners of the earth. I hope you can see and hear me clearly. Blessings to my brothers and sisters. All praises be to the Almighty. Blessings. Just coming off of Halloween. And I know our people know better. You know, this is the witching time of the year. Satanist high day. Watch your children. Oh yeah, this begins the witching end of the year. The pagan trimester. November, December, January, and after the ball drop, all pagans awaken from their illusions or their delusions. Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Rawchaa, the Gathering of Christ Church, here with our weekly Patreon update. Okay. Now, of course, Patreon will be conducted through Elder Ramar Part 2, breaking down the deception within politics. Last week he covered the Democrats. This week he'll be covering the Republicans. Two sides of the same coin. Okay, and I hope you are enjoying the interaction with not just myself, but the other elders such as Ramar and others who've worked to make this church everything it has become. It has become. I see a few familiar faces here. Tracy, how are you? Chris, how are you? Shalom. Always faithful. Steve, how are you? How are you? Frida, how are you? Well, let's jump right in before I segue it over to Elder Ramar. And I would like to say thank you all for being loyal YouTube followers as well as church members out there, shalom, baptized members, and those who are soon to be baptized, as well as loyal Patreon members. Okay. Now let me jump right in. Before I go over our Hebrew and Bible Academy announcements. Shalom, my brother. Shalom, Rodrigo from South America, Asha. Shalom. All right, let me jump right in. The Most High stated in the Word, in the epistles, in the book of Thessalonians, since we would be living in a world who would reject God in Christ, well, if you don't want to follow the Most High and His law, He will allow strong delusions so that those who would like to believe the lie would believe it. And folks, are people delusional during the election year? Boy, are people filled with the delusion. And guess what? I'm starting to believe, brothers and sisters, that, and I was talking about this in the car, that the elections actually show the powers that shouldn't be how great a work they have done on dividing the people. And I believe every 4 years it's tested. Every 4 years, the divide that's created through media and a social programming is tested to see if people are going to actually come together and understand that the bickering against one another has been fabricated by the enemy. By the enemy. So every 4 years, the master wizards and warlocks, they all come together and see just how much they are controlling the world. Think about this, folks. Strangers you don't know at all, that you don't know from a can of lucite, strangers can use the media to have family go against their own blood based on political affiliations. I need y'all to think about that. A stranger can create an argument on CNN or Fox to put out talking points that would divide family. And you don't know these people from a can of lucite. Let me show y'all something. Let me show you all something before I go into my announcements. Look at this. Check this out. Yahoo News. I got to blow this up so you all can see this. Yahoo News. Election results shown on Pennsylvania TV station were a system test. This news came out October 30th. What did it show? I'm going to go into those details in a moment. According to several viral social media posts, a television station in Pennsylvania accidentally posted the state's presidential vote results more than a week before the 2024 general election. They did it by mistake. A local Pennsylvania news station did a systems test for election results this weekend. You'll never guess what the results were. Well, on X post says, attached is a screenshot of a broadcast by WNEP 16 on an ABC affiliate covering northeastern Pennsylvania that shows 2024 election results at the bottom of the screen. The results show Kamala Harris defeating Donald Trump in Pennsylvania with 52% of the vote. So what they're telling you folks, if you want to believe this, see, I believe they're getting in front of their spin, because they've already framed it in a way that's suspicious. Election results shown on Pennsylvania TV station were a system test. Well, if it was a system test, then how can you say within the explanation that it was accidental? Which one is it? If it was a system test, that's intentional. How is it an accident? See? I believe somebody got fired at this station, allegedly, because they put something up probably a week too early. Right? So let me blow this up for you, folks. During a car race, this came up on the ticker. At the very bottom, it showed that this is 100% reporting, which means all of what? The ballots have been counted 100% in Pennsylvania, and at the end of it, you see this? Kamala Harris wins Pennsylvania 52% 1 week before the election. So is it a system test? Huh? Is it a system test or an accident? And if it's a system test, how does the system determine that Harris could win by 52%? Right? But I digress. Everyone knows that no one is voting for that woman. Okay? But whether you are for her or against her, it doesn't matter. That's the point. The fact that they can use it as a divide and conquer strategy is all they need. Because the Democrats and Republicans are together. They're together, folks. In the House, the Senate. I mean, think about it. Dick Cheney, a staunch Republican, hated by Democrats everywhere under the Bush administration, endorsed Kamala, the Democrat. And I'm going to show you how crazy this has become, folks. I don't understand what's going on with some of our people, brothers and sisters. You had a sister who called off her engagement to be married because her husband isn't voting for Kamala. Let me tell you, if she was on fire, Kamala wouldn't spit on her to put the fire out. And she's willing to give up the future of her family name, and the future of her children and legacy that would come through a man who proposed to her for a woman she doesn't know. That's how crazy this thing has become. That's how insane this thing has become. Look at it again. Look at it. Right? Let me show you here. Harris 52%, Trump 47%, shown on a ticker, showing that 100% of the results already came in 1 week before the election. And here it is. Yahoo and other news circulations are seeking to spin it as a test and or an accident. What does the Bible say? Well, the Bible states this. Let me go here real quick. To the Bible. The Bible states for our people, Isaiah 30:9 reads, brothers and sisters, that our people, that this is a rebellious people. Speaking of our people, the children of Israel, black people are rebellious, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Our people are in rebellion. And every 4 years, I believe the election cycle highlights how great the delusion is on our people and how far we've gone against God in rebellion. Our people are in a fight they can't win against their God by rebelling. For example, you have pastors who are staunch Democrats supporting someone from East India who's seeking to pass legislation to abort more of their children. Where's the moral stance for the Christian church who would get behind LGBTQ as a serious constituency amongst the Democrats? You must be in rebellion to vote against your morality, the God you claim to serve, to vote against the Bible by voting Democrat. Now, I know some of you would say, well, Elder, what about the Republicans? I know that popped in some of your minds. Well, I can't go there because our people really don't vote Republican, do they? See? And that takes that argument off the table altogether. Why am I talking about a party our people don't even vote for? See? I'm focusing on the delusion. And then some might ask, well, if that's the case, what is the choice? God is the choice. Christ is the choice. Stop rebelling. Stop rebelling, because really you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice when it comes to this world. Satan is at the helm of both parties. The only choice we have is to choose good or evil. And they have told us many years, folks, that good isn't on the election ballot. They tell us over and over again that we, our people, are to choose what? The lesser of two evils. Good have never been on the ballot. They have never presented good. They've only presented evil. They tell you, well, I don't like either of them, but I'm going to pick the lesser of two evils. Who chooses evil? So the Bible highlights this. Wherefore saith the Holy One of Israel, Ahia is his name if you don't know it, because you despise the word. You allow these people to delude you into what? Immorality and accepting death and sin through their policies. By agreeing with their policies, you are agreeing with the sin they're pushing. And by doing that, God said, since you don't want to listen to him, you would rather despise God's word and trust in oppression. That means you would vote for the same party who's working behind the scenes to destroy the future of you and your children. and to make life even harder for you for the next 4 years. You would rather vote, and guess what? You'd rather vote and have your family sacrificed and become homeless and lose your future in this world with them oppressing you, only to celebrate the fact that the guy you voted for won. See? Even if you lose, you got a woman who claimed that she's going to what? Call off her marriage because her husband isn't going to vote for Kamala. And if the brother know any better, he would look right at it and say, you know what? I'll tell you what. First of all, even though I don't subscribe to any side, I would have told her straight up, I'm going to do what I want to do. Number one. And number two, if you ever step to me in the spirit of seeking to control what I do, you can kick rocks. That's what he should have told her. If anything, you're going to follow my political views. I'm not here to follow you. I'm not here to follow. I would have told her straight up. I would have told her, listen, what you say? Okay, you can find somebody else. Listen, if you don't vote for her, marriage is off. No wedding. I'd have told her, listen, okay, give me my gifts back, and you can go stepping somewhere. Okay? This woman wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire. How can you get rid of the man you claim to love for a stranger? You must be deluded. I done told her, listen, put your skippies on and beat the street. More. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise the word and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swollen out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. So the Most High says, because you are trusting a system over him, he's going to allow the system to break you. He's going to allow the system to break you. One moment. He's going to allow the system to break you. Trust in it. Trust in Pharaoh. Pharaoh is the modern day president. Woe unto the rebellious children, our people, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Don't claim that you're down with God. To stand for a Hindu, a pagan Hindu who's against the Christ you claim to believe in, who's against your Bible, where the only issue or platform she's teaching from, or not teaching from, but running from, is to abort the future of your people. That's like the children of Israel in the Bible, our forefathers, voting to kill Moses at birth. That's like voting during the time of the Roman Empire for Herod the Edomite to kill Christ at birth. You must be out of your mind. Who vote for immorality and sin that's pushed through that party and believe that God is on your side? You have lost your mind. And I'm here to break you out of your delusion. Because the voting does mean something. It shows where your heart is. Now, will it change anything? No. Either side is controlled by the same corporate structure. But it does mean something because it shows what's in your heart. And that you would throw out your moral foundation for some people who you know are evil and are worshiping Satan. And guess what? You don't have to live with them to understand what they're about. If they tell you that they're for transgenderism and the changing of your little boys into girls and transitioning your girls to little boys and seeking to go into your schools and teach your children this stuff while you're working. And then on top of that, pushing you, getting rid of your own babies. You know what these people are for. And then guess what? Then our people will say, well, listen, if I don't vote for her, Trump is going to win. That's what you think in your mind. Well, think about it, folks. If you're for God, you step away and let what? You let the bird fly with one wing. That's what you do. The greatest vote is not to vote in this system at all. To choose God, to choose Christ. That's your greatest vote. Because by doing so, with our people becoming the foundation, the main constituency of the Democrat Party, if we didn't vote at all, folks, a bird cannot fly with one wing. So when you do vote, you show where your heart is. And it so happens that they have lumped us in with all the crazies. They have lumped us in with people who are overt Satanists, non-believers, freaks, crazy people. I'm like, listen, you're not lumping me in as a minority with these nut jobs. That ain't happening. That's right. My vote is for Christ also. Is he on the ballot? Vote Yeshua. And the Bible states here Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, Isaiah 30:1, that take counsel but not of me. Did you ask God, was it okay to support evil people who has Marxist views and have always destroyed our people? Everywhere this woman's family has gone, have destroyed and have enslaved our people. Do y'all know that? Every place this woman's family has gone, have destroyed and targeted us. And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth. And this is why the Most High is shutting these Christian churches down too. Because they're being ran by deluded women and black gays. That's who's running the majority of the black churches today. To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Because why it's a shadow? See, when they sell you hope, it's something that you seek to what? To obtain. But guess what? Hope is never fulfilled. The same as a shadow. The shadow, you can see it. Hey, the light is on me now. There's a shadow in the background. It moves and everything with me, but is it real? Is it quantifiable? Is it something that I can actually obtain? No. And that's what hope is. The false hopes they're giving you through politics. What you get from year to year is why your politicians are in place. If they did what they claimed they were going to do, folks, they wouldn't need to sell hope. I need y'all to think about that for a second. Now, one thing that I can give the Republicans credit for. Now, listen to what I'm saying. They're both evil. Democrats and Republicans, evil. But one thing I can give the Republicans credit for. They do more for their side, for their people, the majority, than the Democrats have ever done for us. And that's what I give them credit for. Their schools are better. Their taxpayer, their money go towards what they're paying their tax towards in their townships. They have a place where their children can play without the fear of getting shot. They have after-school programs, scholarships. That's one thing I can give the Republicans credit for. That they do more for their side than the Democrats have ever done for our people. And I'll give them that much credit. Now, in a nutshell, Egyptians take care of Egyptians. We're Israelites. So you can trust in Egypt and Pharaoh if you want. And you have to realize how bad it is for our people who've trusted in Democrats. Folks, we don't make it within our bar for success in this cesspool called Babylon. our barometer for success if we could actually work towards moving our children where the Republicans live to go to school. I need y'all to think about that for a second. That's right, folks. Our bar for success, to show you how horrible these Democrat-run cities are, that our status or our bar for success is when we can work long and hard enough to not live amongst the constituency or the Democrats we've voted for 80 to 90% of the time. Our bar is to work hard enough to get out of where Democrats live. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense, folks? That all the taxpaying money, what we did through civil rights, everything we've gone through, Jim Crow, and all this tax money going towards these Democrat-run cities, and it haven't benefited us one iota. And our bar for success is to leave the places we're paying taxes to go to where the enemy Republicans live. You see how others are looking at us as delusional? So we see what the Demonuts have done to our people. Become successful, like I'll tell you what, LeBron James, Beyonce, and all of them are coming out saying what? Support Kamala. But I tell you what, you go to where Beyonce lives or Jay-Z lives and tell me how many Democrats you can find in their neighborhoods where they live. See? I need y'all to think about that. They'll come and tell you to vote for this cesspool of sin, this cesspool of sin. But then right after they get paid millions of dollars for endorsing the taskmasters, they'll go right back into their lofty neighborhoods where it's predominantly Republicans living. LeBron James' children ain't going to go to your schools. See? Beyonce children aren't going to your schools. I just wanted to put that out there real quick. Y'all better wake up. Now, speaking of waking up, for those who missed it real quick, yeah, on the ticker a few days ago, Tuesday actually, this mistakenly was placed on a ticker during a racing, a car racing viewing on CNN. Out of nowhere during the car race, this popped up on the ticker where after 100% of the vote have come in, that Harris won Pennsylvania 52% against Trump's 47%. It was shown on the ticker a week before the election, folks. To show you how much your vote really counts. And then Yahoo News started explaining. Election results shown on a Pennsylvania TV station were a system test. See? So they tried to spin it. According to several viral social media posts, a television station in Pennsylvania accidentally posted the state's presidential vote results more than a week before the 2024 general election. I need y'all to think about this for a moment. Was it a system test or an accident? You see, they can't even get their explanation straight. Huh? I thought it was a system test. Well, how was it an accident then? Folks, I think somebody popped this thing up in the system and it showed 1 week too early on the system. I believe that's what happened, but I digress. But hey, believe what you want to believe. As far as I'm concerned, both sides are evil, and we don't vote for evil at all. Okay? Now, the fix is in. Absolutely. Now, let me show y'all this real quick. Oh, yeah, I want to say this. I want to say a humble thank you for Demond Wilson for coming on. And as you all can see, the video was taken down by YouTube. The video was taken down by YouTube, okay? I wanted to put that out there. And believe it or not, it wasn't, even though there was many explosive points made, in that particular discussion that I had with them Wednesday. Yes, folks, they took the video down. I'll tell you why in a moment. But before I tell you why, let me let you all know that in your comment section, you can find our Rumble page. Right there. You can find our Rumble page if you would like to see some of those videos like what just happened last Wednesday. Okay? And I want you to subscribe to Rumble. Soon we'll be simulcasting through Rumble. Type in A Gathering 144 on Rumble. We only have 251 subscribers right now. I would like you to go there. The link is in the chat right here. And please subscribe to the Rumble where we'll be simulcasting in the future. Okay? Who knows what they're going to do here, right? So when you go there, you'll see this page right here. A Gathering 144 on Rumble. See? Now, some people might ask, well, why did YouTube take that particular interview down? Well, not for the reasons you might think, because I'll tell you, Demond Wilson spoke unfiltered. All right. It was more so near the end of that particular video where I asked him a question about that Time of Israel article that was linked to the COVID-19 vaccination. Where Christina Lynn wrote an article in August 5th, 2022. Christina Lynn, CHRISTINALIN, wrote an article, about the vaccination or whatever the case is. And they said because I read her blog that this channel was giving misinformation when I was only reading what she was saying concerning the vaccination from a mainstream circulation in Israel. This is news. I didn't make my own opinion. I didn't make my own quotes concerning it. I actually just read what was in the article, and they gave the page a warning. Man, I don't know what it is, but they don't want us talking about that. They don't want us talking about that, folks. They do not want us talking about that. Right? They don't want us to talk about that Times of Israel article. So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay? Someone says, Leona, you executed the perfect interview. All praises be to the Most High. All praises be to the Most High. I'll allow the brother to speak. He went through many great experiences through the entertainment business. And there's no one out there better who can tell us what's really going on behind the scenes when it comes to the Illuminati and all of that. And he did a great job in explaining what's really going on in the world. Okay? Now, as far as the entertainment business goes, he did a great job with it. Now, another thing, when I allow someone to come on and as a guest with a wealth of information, does that mean I agree with everything they say and or everything they do? No. No, it doesn't mean that. See, but I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. He's an elder man with his experiences, and any place that I disagree with him, I wasn't going to stop him to correct him based on my views. That would be rude and disrespectful, bringing someone into our living room as a guest. I don't do that. Everything he said I don't agree with, but I invited him on through his expertise and experience to give his view. It doesn't mean I agree with everything he said, but guess what? There's more that we agree on than not. And the Bible says never to interrupt a man in his speech, and I wasn't going to stop him in areas I disagree with. All right? You all know where I stand. Okay? And my belief when it comes to the doctrine and all of that. You know where I stand. But I was bringing him on so that he could give his view. And if it was about me, right, stopping him from giving his view, then why have him on as a guest? I might as well just go on by myself. See? I thought that he had, and he does. He have a wealth of wisdom, including life. With knowledge that he can actually gift us with. Being an aged man with much wisdom. And he also believed in Christ. He know we Hebrews. He know Christ's name is Yeshua. Okay? He knows. Now, another thing. Some people probably thought or felt a certain type of way when it came to the speaking in tongues or the tongues that he was doing. And afterwards I say, brother, you don't got to worry about that. It's the spirit. Well, what a lot of brothers and sisters didn't know is the conversation we had before I began the broadcast. A lot of you didn't know that, there's a lot of things going on in his life. A lot of things. Right? And the reality is he have more time behind him than in front of him. And I understood that when he broke out overwhelmed in emotion, it was in appreciation. It was an appreciation to the Most High for allowing him to share his gift and to finally be appreciated for what the Most High gave him decades ago when he thought no one would hear. That no matter where he walked, where he would go in a room or whatever the case is, he was more so Lamont on Sanford and Son and not the child of God who was called to help his people. And I understood that moment when he broke out and was speaking in an unknown tongue. Okay? I understood the basis of his emotion. He was appreciating the Most High for this moment. The overwhelmed response of all of us supporting his work, being there for him in a time where he wasn't feeling too well, only to feel 100% better in that moment. And that's why I said, don't worry about it, brother. It was the Spirit. I understand the root of his appreciation to the Most High. I understand that, and he expressed it in the only way the only way he could. So of course I wasn't going to say, hold up, brother, hold up. We don't do that here. You got to do that to yourself, by yourself. No, I wasn't going to do that. You know why? I respect my elders. And none of us are going to agree on everything. But respect is due to everyone. Oh, yeah. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to bring him back twice. We're going to bring him back for Patreon. We're going to bring him back for Rumble. And I'm going to bring him in for a small segment in the Academy as we break down the fall of the last empire. I'm going to keep bringing him on. Yeah, that brother felt overwhelming love, brothers and sisters. And guess what? I can't thank you all enough for your support for his work. I can't thank you all enough for getting this book, showing your appreciation for a man who have age and wisdom and is seeking to bestow that on us while he still have time here. I thank you for your labor of love and all of your support. I'm going to tell you, your support also is through the Spirit. And guess what? It's genuine. It's genuine love and support that we have in this church and amongst those who are a part of this gathering. I personally thank you all. Thank you. Now, before I go, oh yeah. Yeah, I know, Yakira, you were looking for that. And through the cover at night, they usually do it around 3, 4 in the morning. I was just looking at the video, brothers and sisters, around 1 a.m. And before I woke up in the morning, it was gone. And guess what? It was doing crazy numbers. Folks, within 3 hours of the broadcast, it was already up to 11,900 views within 3 hours. And I believe that's one of the reasons that they said, you know what, let's just find a reason to take this down. That's what I believe, even though they say it's because of misinformation and all this other stuff. I mean, where are we at? Communist China right now? I need y'all to think about this, folks. Even if they disagree, we should have the right to say it. That's the freedom. That's freedom of speech, isn't it? But anyway, folks, we was up to almost 12,000 views within 3 hours. That means this thing was trending towards viral. It's like, well, we can't allow that to happen. Not these guys. But it's okay. Are you ready to rumble? Let me put this out there before I let you all go to part 2 of our Patreon under Elder Ramar, breaking down the Republicans this particular Patreon discussion, during this Patreon discussion. Next Sunday, a new installment of the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Theme: the fall of the last empire. Be there. Be there. Now, who knows? They may fabricate some civil unrest. Who knows whether or not by November 10th, whether or not there'll be what? A clear, decisive president by November 10th. Because you see what they're doing. They're claiming, oh man, it's tight. Right now, things are just close. They're running neck and neck. Folks, the country is so divided right now under the delusion. They can use this election to have the whole thing pop. On the Republican side, they're saying, well, listen, hey, if they try to finesse one more election, then guess what? America will split in two. They're already chopping at the bit to divide the union. And then the Democrats are saying, well, listen, if they get voted in and we lose all of our power over the purse strings within the inner city, we would rather cause civil unrest than to turn it over to the other side. And folks, hey, the keg may blow. That will split America down the middle. And guess what? November the 10th, we're going to see where all this goes, whether or not there'll be civil unrest and all of that. And we're going to give real-time prophecy accordingly. Election outcomes, you want to be there November 10th. War in the Middle East, hurricanes, earthquakes, and even the fact that, folks, we haven't heard the last of that truck driver strike. Famines are on the horizon. And we're going to be going into that in the news with preparation news. What to do if the supermarkets close for rationing. What to do, folks? We're going to talk about it. What to do if they prepare for what they would call a climate lockdown. Folks, this is not my opinion. Everything I'm talking about right now, you can actually go to the World Economic Forum and see the next stages of where this goes. Okay? I'm going to tell you, look up Event 201. Look up Event 201 and see what happened only a few months after that exercise. Well, guess what? The next exercise is famine. Hey, you want to be there. Is World War III impending? How will this impact all of us? Be there the fall of the last empire, November the 10th. 3 full months of serious insight, information, concise news, Hebrew, and lessons like none other on earth in this academy. Live prepping symposium for this academy. We'll have what? We'll have doctors on. We'll have herbologists on. We'll have preppers on. We'll also have what? Those who can help us with physical health. Getting on the right side of getting our health together will be imperative in these times. The path to the mark. The return of the hidden gods. Daniel 7, the fall of America, the fall of the last empire. And we'll also be going into the path of the mark, showing you the satellite systems, transhumanism, all of that. And then we're going to thread the needle for you all. Is there a connection? Is there a connection between end time prophecy and the inoculations? Well, that and more you'll find out in our lesson, The Path to the Mark, which this is going to be the final path to the mark, the first time taught in our Hebrew and Bible Academy. How do you enroll? Well, we are accepting enrollments up until Friday, November 8th, next Friday. Again, it's quite inexpensive. It's only $150 to participate in these classes. And it's a 3-month course, which can be paid up front or in installments of $75 each. You can pay $75, get in the first month, $75 the second month, and that will cover you for the full 3-month span. You don't want to miss this Hebrew and Bible Academy. Last but not least, thank you, Elder Dell. HistoryTimes.org. Last but not least, I have some good news. The next Passover we'll be doing in Florida. We will be doing the next Passover, The next Passover feast in the name of Christ, the Israelites and the Gentiles alike who are in Christ. Yes, we will be in Florida for the Passover. Okay? Not too far from. Okay. Let me put the Damon Wilson link. Great idea, brother. Great idea. 1 second. That's a great idea. Let me put it up here for you. Right? Here's the link. Here's the link to the Damon Wilson. Here's the link, the direct link to the Damon Wilson interview. The second interview we did last Wednesday. Day before yesterday. All white with our fringes on. Live, we're going to be near Orlando, Florida. This coming Passover. Now, let me say this. We are negotiating the rooms that's getting allotted for church members. And why am I putting that out there? I wouldn't suggest, brothers and sisters, going forward and booking rooms because it's expensive down there. Florida, that time of year, ahead of time. All right. If you are a church member, you'll be able to get the negotiated rate we're doing for bringing so much business to the area. Okay. So what I'm saying is, even though I'm putting out the proximity of where we'll be, we suggest you go to your local churches where we'll be making the announcements locally on the Passover, as far as the payments, getting your seat, the layout, so you can choose which seat you'll be in, and all of that. And also get the information on the hotels that are in agreement with the church for Passover. Therefore, you'll get the discounted rate as a church member. Okay? As a church member, I am so excited. The Thunderzar for years was saying, Elder, when you come into Florida? Well, we'll be near Orlando, Florida. Thousands upon thousands of us in the Spirit of Christ this coming Passover. Now, this is just a soft announcement right now. Right? It's a soft announcement. But keep your ear to the ground. I'll be making more announcements as we tie it all up on this end. And once everything is signed, once everything have been confirmed, you'll be hearing more announcements from me. But in the meantime, if you go to your Sabbath lesson tomorrow in your locale, right, there's going to be a little soft announcements. But it may be about a week or two, you'll get the full announcements, including the accommodations that you can get for being a church member coming into the Passover starting in March. Okay, it's going to be a beautiful, sunny gathering. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, yeah. The theme for the calendar. The theme for the calendar, folks, is going to be the theme from one of the original lessons which began the gathering of Christ Church. The 12 lost tribes found will be the theme of the new calendar, Hebrew calendar. That means each tribe will have a month with the scriptures broken down and the people that represent each tribe. The 12 lost tribes found will be the theme for our next calendar. It's going to be off the chains. Every tribe will have a physical representation. So when people see the calendar, they'll relate to who the people are in the last days. We're gathering back the children of Israel. Here it is. And with each month, the scriptures breaking down how to identify each tribe. And then at the very end, it's Christ sending the disciples out to go find the lost tribes of Israel. Matthew 10:5 and 6. But I would rather you go to the lost tribes of Israel and tell them the kingdom is at hand. That's going to be what? The end of the book, the end of the calendar. It's going to be super bad. And if I can, we need to put some fringes on that thing. With that, Blessings, my brothers and sisters. Blessings and blessings and blessings. And again, if you want to support our weekly broadcast, you can support by going to gatheredofchrist.org/donate, and you'll see all the options to actually support financially the church. Also, if you want to support our weekly broadcast, like what's before you today and all that, you can join Patreon. It's only a low amount to support. Also, you can, for our Wednesday and Sabbath, if you want to give us personal offerings, well, you can do that if you have Cash App. That's $GOCC report. That's $GOCC report. All right. I'm Elder Rawchaa Yar. Go over to Patreon. Elder Ramar will be there breaking down the other side of the so-called lesser of the two evils, the Republicans. With that, see you tomorrow on the Sabbath. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not, and keep in mind, the Most High is calling back the children of Israel. That's right. We are the children of Israel. And we're back. Shabbat Shalom.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we be, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. Our highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us. At gunpoint. Together.